Hey everybody, KC here. So, interesting story in the Seattle Times about how golf may need to look out because pickleball is coming for corporate events, corporate schmoozers, association meetings, conventions, things like that. Pickleball is the thing that people are doing more and more. According to the Times, while golf courses have long been hailed as the premier venue for closing deals and wooing clients, a growing number are finding that pickleball saves them time and money while being more inclusive and easier to play for newcomers. And they list a whole bunch of different pickleball clubs around the United States where corporate bookings are way, way up. Sometimes getting 10 or 20 inquiries a week, by many multiples more than they were doing a year or two ago. Now, the story points out that golf isn't really going anywhere. It also saw a surge in popularity during the pandemic. But the thing is, golf has a very specific niche. According to the National Golf Foundation, 74% of golfers are still men and 78% are white. And that means that some people are saying, hey, listen, that may be a club with small c that I'm not going to be able to break into. I'm going to try something else. Now, listen, here's the deal. I'm not a golfer, all right? It takes way, way too much time and requires way too much dedication, and that's just not me. Now, I totally respect people who love golf and spend a lot of time on the golf course, but I've never been able to muster that kind of attention. I do, however, like pickleball, so this is not a bad thing for me. And I have to say, I've noticed at a lot of the association meetings and conventions that I attend where golf tournaments used to be a standard part of it. People would reserve a day early, a day late, afternoons, that sort of stuff. For golf tournaments, they don't happen as much anymore. There are usually business meetings, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, people are more work-focused, and budgets are a lot more work-focused, and frankly, golf takes way too much time, and we're not in an environment right now where people can necessarily justify spending that much time on the golf course. Now, I do think companies are going to have to be a little careful about this because while pickleball play is up, so quite naturally are pickleball injuries. There was a story on NBC the other day about how bone fractures related to pickleball have increased 200% in the last few years. And that comes from a study done by the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. They would know. And that doesn't even count all the injuries and pulled muscles and aches and pains, and I've had all of them that people sometimes can have from playing pickleball. So this whole thing might be problematic. Now, it's funny, I remember attending, this reminds me of something from a long time ago. I remember attending a convention of NAGA, organization that doesn't exist anymore, the National American Wholesale Grocers Association, which, if I'm correct, was acquired by the NGA a number of years ago. And it was late August, early September of 1993. And it was in Bermuda. Trust me, nobody does conventions in Bermuda anymore. And because it was in Bermuda where you can't rent a car, they had this thing where people were able to, NAGA had all these mopeds that they had arranged for people to be able to drive around the island. And the thing is, there were all sorts of people driving mopeds who had no business driving mopeds. And they would run into walls, they got into accidents, they ended up in emergency rooms, they were having the medics at the convention center or the hotel, paying attention to them. It was a disaster. I don't think they ever went back to Bermuda for reasons not just having to do with the mopeds, but it was a convention where people ended up getting hurt a lot. And that's the one thing as companies move more to pickleball, they're going to have to be worry about. In the immortal words of Sergeant Philip Westerhouse, be careful out there. That's what's on my mind. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.